Before we get started, I want to disclose that Liquid Strategies, the investment advisor to OVL, has compensated me for the production of this video. This creates a conflict of interest as I have financial incentive to present this fund. I am not personally invested in OVL at this time. The views expressed are my own and do not necessarily reflect those of Liquid Strategies. They increase the distribution rate, the AUM continues to grow, and it has historically outperformed its underlying ETF since inception in terms of total return. Of course, if you couldn't guess it, I am talking about ticker OVL by Liquid Strategies. I'm very interested in seeing what you, the community, thinks about this ETF because the hype has been building quite rapidly. Now, I want everyone to understand by the end of this video that OVL is not your typical covered call ETF. It has a different strategy, so the goal is to showcase not only the performance of this ETF, but what sets it apart and makes it different from the rest of the crowd. If you're new here, my name is Spencer. I talk all about investing through ETFs with a focus on income. One day I want to retire and use my dividend snowball to live off of. So if you're interested in ETFs, in making money in the stock market, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hype this video. And now we'll get into OVL. There is a constant battle that is ongoing in the investing community: growth versus income. Which one wins and why? And for a long time, when you look at the metric of total returns, we do see growth typically outperform, but it is not always the case. And even if income underperforms, it still serves a purpose. People want income generation to live off of, to pay their bills, to get paid monthly dividends, as so many of us have in our portfolios right now. So it all depends on the goal of the investor. But one important thing to note is the reason why growth typically outperforms, and that is because it's not capped. When we overlay an option strategy, you can often have capped upside at the cost of your yield. So yes, you may be getting a 10% distribution rate, but the fact is you will not capitalize on any major runs because of that strategy in place. Here's where OVL is different. We have seen it outperform the underlying quite impressively. And let me specify here, it's outperformed its underlying S&P 500 ETF in terms of total return since inception. And recently, like I stated in the intro, they increased their distribution rate. It now distributes 10.29%, which is fantastic. A lot of investors are actively seeking higher yielders, but not so high that they experience severe NAV erosion. Now, I'm really pumped with how this fund has been performing, and we're going to take a look at that in just a moment. Scrolling down though, I want to showcase some important talking points when it comes to OVL. The expense ratio is 0.79%. This is pretty common. It's higher than a lot of the growth ETFs that we've seen. Some of them range from 0.03, 0.06, all the way up to 0.4. But in the income side, because you have to generate income utilizing options, you have to have a higher expense ratio because that takes time and effort. And thus we see that 0.79% expense ratio. Definitely nowhere near the highest that I've seen in the income world, but not anything that should just be ignored. You should always understand how this is going to impact the funds. And what I love is the chart that we're going to utilize will show total return, meaning they've factored in the expense ratio as well. Now, the fund net assets, or AUM, is almost to 300 million. This fund is growing in popularity, like I stated earlier, and for good reason. But there is that key point that we need to discuss. How does this fund differ? We have so many covered call ETFs in the market currently, and we have to understand what makes OVL. We're going to start by breaking down covered calls, one of the most popular ways to generate income. And we're going to compare it with OVL's strategy, the put credit spread. Now, I want to say neither of these strategies can completely prevent NAV erosion. NAV erosion is dictated by many different factors, so although it may be a goal of issuers to not have NAV erosion, it's not always within our control. The market moves on its own. So if you're a high yield investor and you own these high yield dividend ETFs, you need to understand how covered calls work. Starting off, the sentiment with covered calls would be that the underlying is neutral to slightly bullish. In this example, you're going to own 100 shares of the stock at $100 per share. You're going to sell the call at $105. the premium that you are going to receive will be $1.50, which is very, very solid. And the beautiful thing with premium is that it's paid right away. So with those 100 shares that you own, you'll collect that premium and you're going to profit if the stock stays below that $105 mark. Now, if it goes above that, you will still profit, but your profit is capped. And that's where it can be tricky with covered calls in comparison to growth funds. So in that scenario, we often will see that the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100 will outperform income because of the one fact that they are not capped. If you have a specific timeline where it performs extremely well, you may be capped out of your covered call where you wouldn't if you just simply held the underlying ETF or stock. So the risks with covered calls is that it can still go down. So you have risk on the upside of not being able to capitalize on the full performance, and you have risk on the downside. And that downside risk is similar with nearly every single option strategy. There's always going to be risks involved if you are looking for higher yields. It's just the way these ETFs work. Now, what's key is trusting the underlying ETF issuer to make those decisions because they, again, are experts in the space. And speaking of the experts, I want to take a moment to thank OVL's issuer, Liquid Strategies, for sponsoring this video on the channel. It's absolutely amazing working with issuers because they give me an education on these products so that I can hopefully explain them to you guys and we can continue to grow in our knowledge as an investing community. It's been really beneficial working with them, so thanks again so much. And now we're going to jump into the put credit spread. We have similar sentiment with the put credit spread as we do with the covered call. With the put credit spread, we are going to be neutral to bullish. And in this scenario, you're buying a put at $95 and you're selling a put at $100. Your max profit zone is going to be anything above that $100 price. So you need the price of the ETF or of the stock to stay above that $100 for your higher put. Now you're going to collect the credit up front and you will again profit at that $100 or above point. There is more defined risk with the put credit spread strategy. So covered calls can have more potential upside and more potential downside than the put credit spread strategy. But it all depends on your strategy and what you are looking for as an income investor. This is where you are neutral to bullish on the market. And in this example, you sell that put for $100, you buy the put at $95, and your credit received is $1.20. So these are different strategies, of course, the put spread, the covered call, and that can give you different results. It can give you vastly different results, but it also gives you diversification. Now the part that you have all been waiting for, the comparison chart. So again, we have OVL and we have the S&P 500. OVL actually owns VU. That is how they get their exposure to the S&P 500, and that's what we're going to compare it against. It's just the S&P. So we're using SPY, and you can see here that max, we have OVL up 195.12% versus SPY's 176.69%. Now, the S&P 500 is one of the most popular ETFs. So this is absolutely outstanding that you're able to get not only exposure to it, but more potential upside, as we've seen with the total return. Of course, we cannot guarantee that. No one knows what the market is going to do or how it's going to impact these different ETFs. But there are not only pros, there are some cons that we should look at in terms of OVL. And if you're thinking of investing or you are an investor in this fund, this is very, very important. So OVL on these drawdowns does take more of a hit than the S&P 500. We can see it right here in October of 2025. We saw a slight pullback where OVL was at one point almost 2% above and nearly ended up being even with SPY. So you have to understand these ETFs will perform differently. And that's one thing that I really do like within an ETF portfolio is the ability to diversify. Now you're not only diversifying based off of the underlying index, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, the Russell 2000, but you can diversify utilizing different strategies. And as more ETFs are being created and they're rising in popularity, I hope we can continue to see more and more ETFs similar to OVL that utilize a unique strategy and so far have had a very good total return. Now, of course, that is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video or if you learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave comments exactly for OVL, because I guarantee Liquid Strategies will be checking out the comments in this video. If you want me to interview them on the channel, drop that in a comment as well. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, check out this video popping up on your screen right now.